Rubbermaid bin of 14 gallons. I drilled some holes in the bin, drilled some holes on the perimeter like this. I did not drill a hole in the bottom because I'm quite keen on keeping the moisture and mixing it up. What it looks inside. Usually whenever I open a bin, with being this or the regular, the worm farm, I'm sorry, it's not necessarily regular, I check the moisture, I check the temperature, I check if there's some vapor coming at me, I check the scent, the smell as well. I opened the bin. It felt a little humid under the lid. There's not a lot of condensation, hardly any. Cardboard, again, that is getting weaker and weaker by the week. Okay. My paper scraps. And I'm trying to locate where I put my things. I put some potato peels. I have put some leaves and roots. I'm trying to find them. I think they were in the middle. What is that? Yeah, that's one. It was frozen. It started to decompose very slowly. It's fibrous, so it's going to take some time. And what I do also is I just turn the whole thing. What does it smell like? See, I have here one of the roots of the leeks. It's going to take a while. That one's going to take a while, but I see none of the potato peels. I'm going to add more food also. And a little bit more worms. And more paper scraps to absorb the whole thing. Okay. So I'm going to still feed in the middle. I'm going to put some extra worm castings, worms, shredded papers that I have taken from the bottom of the other system. And I'm going to put it here. It's going to add just a little bit more worms. And some blueberries that somehow went bad. I am going to also add, I'm due to add some crushed eggshells. Every time I eat eggs, I wash them in extra hot water. I rinse them in extra hot water. I put them in a bowl. Put the bowl in the oven, 365 Fahrenheit for about 5 to 10 minutes. I do that every time I have eggs, and then whenever I have enough, I put them into a mortar and pestle and I grind them. I do not have a coffee grinder, so this is what I use. I was supposed to add something else. Paper scraps. I'm not afraid to add paper scraps because number one, fruit flies, we remember. Number two, the worms eat the paper scraps. It's part of their food as well. So when I'm done putting all of this in, I put the 2 layers of the cardboard, put the lid back on. Sometimes I feel like there's too much moisture. I can see that there are droplets on the side, and you know the moisture is coming up. I take off the lid and I leave it a couple of hours just open like that. The worms are not going to escape because it's not the outside is not a proper environment for them. It's quite dry. And there is also lights. There has been stories of worms climbing out. If they're climbing out, it's because something is really wrong with your system. I also wanted to show you finished compost. Finished compost is filtered. You can see that the white is the crushed eggshells. Smells like earth. Granulated because I don't keep it that moist, but just a little bit. There's not a lot of aeration holes, so it keeps a little bit of moisture. But after I passed it and I filtered it, I'm going to show you what I filtered it with. It's ready to use. So I use this. In French, it's a tamis. And I think it's we can call it a sieve maybe, with interchangeable bottoms. With and I have 2 higher grades also available. But the last time I used it to filter my compost, I used this, which is I think 3/4 of an eighth of an inch, 3/8 of an inch. I'm gonna have to check. Whatever. It's really small, as you can see, very, very small. And I use the small one because worms, the mature worms cannot escape, and eggs cannot escape because eggs are a little bit bigger than that. So, and all the debris, whenever I filter it, I keep all the debris and I put it in another bin that is being processed. This is it for today. If you have questions, please do not hesitate. It's quite interesting. And I'm just trying to make my compost for the following year. I think that here, just with that, I have enough for my indoor plants. Obviously, with time and with the months, I'm going to have more and more. And then if I have more and more and I see they are well filtered, I'm going to put them in the garden outside. But I'm going to be very cautious about that because the composting worms that I use are not indigenous to where I live. So this is also why I am filtering everything. Not only because it's cute like that, it looks really nice and uniform and powdery, but also because red encinias, and the red wigglers, the Encenia fetida, which is a type of composting worms that I'm using, are not indigenous to where I live. So I'm just not gonna just dump a bunch of red wigglers into the nature. It might, cause a big imbalance. So this is what I had to say about the whole thing. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.